Picture this. A man walks into a room. No noise, no introduction, no need to prove anything. And yet, every eye turns to him. Not because he's flashy, not because he's trying to be seen, but because he carries something different, something raw, something that can't be tamed. You can feel it. It's almost uncomfortable. Because deep down, everyone in the room senses the same thing. This man plays by his own rules, and that makes him dangerous. Friedrich Nietzsche had a name for him, the Übermensch, the Overman. Not some cape-wearing superhero, but someone who's evolved past the need for validation. A man who doesn't need society's permission to exist. He builds his own values, sets his own standards, and refuses to kneel before systems designed to shrink him. That kind of man is a threat, not because he's violent, but because he's free. And here's the thing. Society hates what it can't control. From the time we're kids, we're taught how to fit in. Raise your hand, sit still, be polite, follow the rules, smile when you're uncomfortable, don't make too much noise, don't rock the boat. In school, in work, even in relationships, we're constantly being trained to be agreeable, tame, predictable, safe. But what happens when someone decides not to play along? Nietzsche saw it all coming. He saw how modern humans traded their wildness for comfort, traded their inner fire for belonging. We gave up our edge so we could be accepted. And in that deal, we lost a huge part of ourselves. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he describes modern man like a domesticated pet, well-fed, obedient, and completely hollow. He warned us, man is something to be overcome, not destroyed, evolved. Every society needs rules, but not every person is made to follow them. Some people, rare, wild souls, don't fit inside the box. Not because they want to be rebels, not because they're angry, but because their spirit just won't shrink. There's something inside them that refuses to be silenced. You can call it instinct, you can call it truth, you can call it soul. But whatever it is, it can't be bribed or broken. And that makes them unpredictable, which makes them uncontrollable, which makes them dangerous. Now, here's where things get psychological. When people meet someone who can't be tamed, they don't just see a person. They see a mirror, a reflection of everything they've buried, the wildness they ignored, the dreams they gave up, the truth they've been too afraid to speak. And suddenly, that untamed man becomes a threat. Not because of what he says or does, but because of what he represents. Watch how people react when someone walks into the room who doesn't need approval. At first, it's curiosity. Then it's discomfort. Then it's either admiration or resentment. Because while most people are busy trying to blend in, this man stands out without even trying. His very existence exposes the lies we tell ourselves. That we have to fit in. That we need to be accepted. That we're not enough unless others approve. And the more he lives by his own truth, the more uncomfortable it makes everyone else. Society runs on quiet control, not handcuffs, not prison cells, but shame, fear, rejection. Be like us and we'll accept you. Step out of line and you'll be punished. We wear masks, we play roles. We silence our real selves for a pat on the back. But what if someone doesn't care about that pat? What if someone can't be shamed into obedience? What if someone is already fine with being alone? That man is a system's worst nightmare. See, the untamed man doesn't fear loneliness. He's made peace with it. While others find comfort in the crowd, he finds clarity in solitude. While most people carry the weight of fitting in, he carries the responsibility of freedom. And make no mistake, freedom is heavy. It's not comfortable. It's not always fun, but it's real. And that's what sets him apart. Most people hide behind rules. That's just how things are. It's always been done this way. They use those lines to avoid hard choices. But the untamed man, he doesn't get that luxury. When there's no script to follow, no crowd to hide behind, no one to blame, he owns every decision, every mistake, every consequence. But also, every moment of joy that's actually his. Not handed to him, not borrowed, his. Nietzsche understood something few people want to admit. That most people prefer the cage because it's warm, predictable, safe. You know the rules, you know where the walls are, you know what happens if you step out of line. There's comfort in that. But at what cost? at the cost of your instincts, at the cost of your truth, at the cost of yourself. That's why society tries to punish authenticity. Because one man living freely makes everyone else question their prison. He makes them think about what they've given up. And most people would rather stay comfortable than confront that. They'd rather attack the untamed man than admit they secretly want what he has. And he knows that. That's why he doesn't argue. He doesn't beg to be understood. He doesn't waste time trying to be liked. He just continues to live his truth. That's his power. That's what makes him dangerous. It's not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's authenticity. Raw, unfiltered, uncomfortable authenticity. And that's contagious. That's why authentic people are pushed to the margins, called difficult, stubborn, problematic. Because if that way of living catches on, if too many people start being real, the whole game breaks down. The rules lose their grip, the system loses its teeth. And the people in charge, they lose their control. The untamed man spreads a virus, not of chaos, but of truth. He doesn't shout it. He doesn't preach it. He just lives it. And that alone makes others start to wonder, start to question, start to remember who they were before they traded their fire for acceptance. But let's be honest, the untamed path comes with a price. When you stop living for approval, you lose the people who only loved your mask. You lose fake comfort. You lose the illusion of belonging. But what you gain yourself. Fully, unapologetically, undeniably, and that's rare. The untamed man trades acceptance for truth. He trades predictability for purpose. He walks away from the applause of the many to stand alone in silence, and he's okay with that. Because he's not here to be liked, he's here to be. And that being, authentic, sovereign, free, is the ultimate rebellion in a world built on fitting in. So how does someone actually become untamed in a world addicted to conformity? Nietzsche didn't just describe the problem, he mapped the way forward, and it begins with a brutal step: face the abyss. You have to look directly at the truth that no one is coming to save you. There's no master plan, no cosmic rulebook. You are the author. Most people run from that idea. It's too heavy. But the untamed man stares into that abyss and says, all right, if there's no meaning handed to me, I'll create it myself. Then comes the second step: kill your idols. That means destroying anything outside yourself that you've put on a pedestal. Whether it's the opinions of others, your need for approval, or the fear of rejection, if it controls you, it's got to go. The untamed man deletes the apps that feed his ego, stops chasing likes, stops editing himself to fit in. And yeah, it hurts. Letting go of those things feels like dying. But it's the false self that's dying, not the real you. Next, you create your own values, not inherited values, not borrowed beliefs, yours. What matters to you? What do you believe is right, noble, worth pursuing? That's the foundation of the untamed life. It's not selfish, it's deeply responsible. Because when you live by your own values, you stop being a puppet, you become a force. Step 4. Embrace the struggle. No more running from pain, no more chasing ease. The untamed man wants the challenge, because he knows that pressure is what turns coal into diamonds. He doesn't flinch when life gets hard. He grows sharper, tougher, wiser. He understands that safety is a trap, that comfort can be a prison, and that suffering isn't the enemy, it's the path. And finally, live like it all repeats. Nietzsche called it eternal recurrence. The idea that you should live each moment as if it would happen again, forever. Would you still say what you're about to say? Would you still do what you're about to do? Would you still be proud of the life you're building? That level of accountability? That's the mindset of someone who's free. The truth is, becoming untamed isn't a switch you flip. It's a habit. It's 1,000 small choices that slowly strip away the fake and leave only the real. You won't wake up one day completely untamed, but every time you choose authenticity over approval, you get closer. Every time you speak your truth instead of playing it safe, you grow stronger. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you become a little more you. But don't mistake this for an easy road. It will cost you. People will fall away. Opportunities will disappear. You'll be misunderstood, criticized, maybe even hated. But you'll sleep like a lion. You'll know who you are, and you'll never again have to trade your soul for a seat at the table. The world doesn't need more nice guys following the script. It needs more wild men writing their own. Men who are willing to be feared before they're fake. Men who are okay with being alone if it means being real. Men who don't ask, "Is this allowed?" but instead ask, "Is this true?" So, ask yourself, are you living your truth, or are you just surviving? Are you following the herd, or are you carving your own path? Because the cage is optional, the rules are flexible, the game is rigged unless you stop playing by their terms and start living by your own. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what the world needs right now. If this spoke to something deep inside you, share it with someone who's ready to wake up. Comment below. Are you untamed or still trapped? And don't forget, the most dangerous thing you can do in a world built on conformity is to be yourself. Stay free, stay wild, stay untamed.